Hi there. This project is a kitchen office makeover. What we've got here is old kitchen units. Over here there used to be a cooker that's been taken out. You can see the cable coming down there. We're going to disconnect that cable because it's not needed. And this room is going to be converted into an office. There's a desk going right here at the window so we can look out the office. What we did yesterday was cleared everything out of the room. We cleaned up the grout on the tabletop here, cleaned all that out, cleaned up the tiles. What we're going to do is we're going to keep these kitchen units, they're fairly solid, and what we're going to do is paint it all, give it a complete revamp. Going to paint all the walls, going to fill in the holes. There's some holes there on the wall there, and we're going to redo the floor. And what we're going to do is make it into a self-contained office. Through the back here, it's been tiled on the floor. All we're going to do through the back here is paint. There's a little toilet just through back here, so it's going to be made into a self-contained office, and it's got its own back door that nobody has to come through the house either. And we're going to take up the old linoleum and we're going to replace it with carpet tiles. So what I'm going to do just now is I'm going to take the handles off the kitchen units, we're going to rub them down and we're going to paint them. Okay, what's been done next? We've taken the handles off these cupboards down here so that it's just easier to paint. These two handles for the drawers here we haven't taken off because they're actually double backed by wood. It's a bit more awkward to take off, so what I'm going to do is tape over them when they're being painted. So why am I keeping the old kitchen, keeping the old tiles? The kitchen is made up of MDF, which is composite material. It's not easily recycled. The structure of this is still good, it's intact, it's still solid. So what we're going to do is we're going to be sustainable, we're going to keep the kitchen, but we're going to revamp it, we're going to paint it. In order to paint it, what we're going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is rub the worktop down. You can see here I've got fine sandpaper here, and what we're going to do is, sorry, not fine sandpaper, we've got really coarse sandpaper, and we're going to rub the laminate top down. It's pretty rough stuff at the moment, and then we'll use the fine stuff. The key to doing the best job is the prepping that's involved. So rough sandpaper first, we're going to rub all the laminate top down, we're going to rub all the cabinets down, and then we'll clean it up, and then we'll use the fine stuff so that we prep it so it's keyed in for the paint to take. Okay, so where are we with the kitchen / office renovation? So what's been done over the last couple of days, we're now at the second coat. We've painted the tiles, sort of deep red colour. That paint is quite tricky, it's very thin and oily. You've really got to watch it doesn't run. So we've done a second coat now, and it's going to need a third sort of touching up and get the lines at the top. The top of the worktop has been painted, that's had a couple of coats as well. The cupboards have been painted as well, they've had a couple of coats, so that's making progress. I've taken the boards off at the bottom there outside, so they'll need to be painted as well and obviously put back on. The radiator has been painted, so making progress. So what's left to be done? So obviously the floor, it's a concrete floor. The house was built in the 1870s, it's 150 years old. Concrete floor, bits of it weren't particularly in great condition because it's been hacked up to get the pipes in for the central heating in the past. So there was a bit of levelling off there, it's not brilliant. But once I get the carpet tiles down, it will cover all that. So what we're looking to do in the next few days is just finish off the painting, touch up what we need to touch up, finish off the painting. What we're going to do is that's raw paint for the walls. That blue colour was old paint that was left over from the lounge. Not the right colour. What we're going to do is get a very lightish white, pinkish, salmony to give a contrast. The ceiling's been painted as well, a couple of coats that probably need touching up. We'll see how it dries off, but yeah, making good progress. Okay, what we're doing today, okay, we've painted the tiles. That paint was quite difficult to work with on the tiles. It's very runny. You had to do it quite thin coats to stop it running down, but it does cover the tiles really well. We put stickers onto it to break it up. We've painted the worktop with gloss paint. We've painted the cabinets, and we've partially painted the walls, not quite finished, and the ceiling. New coat of paint on the ceiling. What we're doing today is, if we just spin round, yes, the alcove, there's an alcove at the back that we've revamped as well, so that's taken a little bit of time. We've gloss painted the lintels and the windows, and what we're doing today is, because there was cupboards there in the old kitchen, there's a gap in the skirting board. So what we've done today is taken the skirting board there off, which was under the stairs, and what I'm going to do is, because I had difficulty finding the correct skirting board to fill in there, I've taken the skirting board off the back there. Because it's an old house, that skirting board there has been on for a long time, and I couldn't find in Wix or B&Q the exact same skirting board, so I've taken it off there. I'm going to replace that back bit. It's not with a new piece, it's not desperate, it's exactly the right size because it's under the stairs, and I'm going to cut it and I'm going to fill it in there. Okay, so progress with the old kitchen made into an office. What's happening today is just to finish off the skirting board under the staircase. What I did was I took the original skirting board out so I could replace the missing skirting board under the window, which was down here. And what I've done is bought a new piece of skirting board. I'm going to have to join it because the existing bit that's already in here is cut at an angle to go under the stairs. I'm going to glue it back on. We've got the tiles finished painting, sealed around the sink. There's just the bits of pieces of touching up painting, and going to put the floor tiles down. So it's all good progress. What takes the time and the effort is, just like building a house, is it's not necessarily difficult, it's the finishing off so that you make the best job to the standard that you want. That takes the time and the effort. But nearly there, nearly at putting the carpet tiles down. What's been done here is the existing alcove at the back, which has got a washing machine in it and a fridge, so that it's a self-contained office. There's a back door here as well. The tiles here have been down for a long time. Because it's an old house and nothing really is particularly level, there's a bit more of a lip onto the tiles from the concrete floor. So what I've done is I've angled some filler so that the lip, the change, isn't as big from the carpet tiles up to the actual floor tiles, so that it makes a good solution without having any trip hazard. And it's been painted with gloss paint, the powder grey that has been used on the worktops. So that should work well. Okay, so we're at the end of the old kitchen / new office revamp. Let's do a summary of what we've done. over the last 4 weeks on and off to revamp this space. So what we've done is we've painted all the walls, we painted the tiles here, we put some stickers on to break up the tiles, painted the worktops, we painted the kitchen units. Last couple of days we put the floor tiles down, we put the plinths back on, they've all been painted. We had to trim off with, I had to saw a little bit off that plinth because the carpet had raised the height a bit just to get it in there. There's a bit of plinth that has to be bought from there. Because there was a cooker here originally, there was no plinth, so that's really the last job in there that needs to put a plinth in place. And we have now completed the project. So how long has it taken us? It's taken us 4 weeks on and off. So I'm not talking about 8 hours a day. I'm talking, so if we do 5 times 4 weeks, that's 20 days. Say we did an average of 5 hours a day, yeah, that gives us a ballpark figure in terms of a DIY project, in terms of 100 hours or so work, possibly more, maybe up to 150 hours, but that's the region of the time it's taken us. It's the finishing off, it's all the tiny little jobs that tend to take all the time. So in terms of cost, floor tiles were quite expensive, but very pleased with the quality of the floor tiles. They've joined together pretty well. We have spent upwards of probably 220, maybe 240 pounds on the floor tiles. It's approximately 11 square meters, and they've joined together really well. So we're going to give them a few days to just to bed themselves in until we hoover up, but that's worked out really well. So we'd say the carpet tiles are in the region of, let's call it £230. In terms of the paint, I would say the paint and all the odds and ends would take it up to certainly £300. Is there any other cost? No, it's just really the time involved. So I would say the approximate cost is £300 to £350 to revamp this space, and the majority of that cost was in the floor tiles. So we've got 3 spare tiles left. So one of the advantage obviously of floor tiles is that in the hard and where it's walked through or walked on most, we can actually just replace these tiles when they get a bit worn. So yeah, looking good, very pleased with the final outcome. Oh yeah, painted the radiator as well. So it's all the different styles of painting. You've got the mats on the ceiling and the walls, the gloss paint on the worktops, gloss paint on the radiator, and then the tile paint that took a bit of getting used to in terms of the fact it was quite runny. So, but very pleased with the final result. So I would say, yeah, in summary, we've spent upwards of £300 or so revamping it, but it was well worth the time and the effort to finish it off.